Brian, can we cover the South Stand first? Last game in front of it. What does it mean to you?
Yeah, the best way of describing it would be it's like missing or we're retiring a very important player. Been such a significant part of Headingley Stadium for forever, hasn't it? So, you know, if you go around the grounds, and I think when Hull moved out of their ground and Wigan moved out of their ground and then Saints moved out of their ground, you'd always remember a part of that or a certain stand or the cop end of it or whatever you call it. But we're not moving out of our ground, but we're going to lose what was the South Stand and have another South Stand put back in place. So yeah, it's a big thing, and as I say, it will be like retiring a very old but very influential player.
Has it had a bearing on results and outcomes here?
The easy answer is yes, but you don't ask me to try and qualify that. I do know that in times when I think we've gone, you know, during games, I think, you know, that's us, that we've shot our boat, we don't have much energy left. They kick up and they get the drum banging, and you know, they'll start singing, and we get it from somewhere, and that would have been. There's no doubt that will have been to do with the South Stand, and it's not a tactical substitution or just, you know, a moment that the players have come up with themselves. It will be on the back of what the South Stand have done, for sure.
I know players in the past, when possible, have taken the opportunity to go in there on match day. I'm guessing you've never had that opportunity. Would that be a regret?
No. Are you trying to be funny? No, I've never really felt the urge to go stand in the South Stand. No, they've been great. Listen, we've had some turbulent times since I've been coach, and I don't think I'd be welcome in there on occasions. But to be fair, you know, look, they've been brilliant, and we have had some tough times, and we had a tough time last week, and had some tough times during the season, like all teams do, and they don't mind telling you that they're not pleased. But I'm okay with that. That's good, that, because then by the same token, when you do well, they don't mind telling you as well, and then when it gets really tough, they stick by you, and you can't ask for any more than that. I actually respect the fact that if it's tough, they'll let you know, and they'll let you know they're happy, and they'll let you know that you better pull your socks up and all that type of thing. So it's a funny old relationship, but it works. But I'm happy in the North Stand, thanks.
As an opposition player coming here, though, did they let you know the South Stand?
Yeah, I never liked it. I didn't like it. By the time I'd become a professional player, I'd done one or two things in my life and thought I was reasonably tough, and then it gets intimidating. There's no... A player who says it wasn't intimidating is either lying or psychologically disturbed. But, you know, above 5,000 people chanting, very clever chants at you as well at times. You know, that you can see there's gone some thought put into this. It's just not the fact that they're swearing at you and don't like it. That's put some thought into it. That it does affect you.
What about the new South Stand? I mean, it's going to be sad to see the old one go, but in terms of what's going to be there in the future, going to be quite impressive.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the whole ground's going to be great when both the South and the North Stand are completed. And you know, it's going to have a combination of, and let's hope anyway, I don't know, but let's hope it's got an element of what was the old South Stand and some of that atmosphere, some of that attitude that the South Stand has got, but obviously that doesn't stink and it doesn't like it's falling down, so you've got it. I mean, progression's great, and I know there's a fair few people who don't want to lose the South Stand and think that it could be maybe decorated and done up, and maybe just it can't. It's gone. The thing is gone. But let's hope that the new one has everything that was good about the old South Stand, but you know, you'll feel comfortable in there, comfortable taking your family in there, and you know, all round it'd be better for the ground.
You'll hope to give it a fitting farewell with the game. Could the emotion of the farewell inspire the players against Saints?
I think there'll be some element of that. I don't think it's going to be the main thrust of what we're doing. I think we've got our own bit going on at the moment. We've got a bit going on ourselves. So the main task for us tomorrow night, on an emotional night, and there's going to be a big thing made of the South Stand, is to stay focused about what it is we need to do and how we're going to do it. So, but yeah, I think just maybe when the game's tough tomorrow night, they can have one last old South Stand chant for us and get the boys back up.
How do you assess Saints at the moment?
In form, going good. They've been through their turbulent time and seem to be coming out of it. I think they'll recognise they've got still some improvement as well. I don't think they'll be the finished. Think they're the finished package, but the team that we faced here a few weeks ago, they've improved since then.
How confident are you that you'll get the response that you want after last week?
Yeah, very much so. I'm confident we'll get a response, a reaction. That was a poor loss last week on a few different levels, and I've got to say as well, I thought at least 4 of the tries were just head-scratching moments where you think, how the hell did that happen? What on earth was that? Why did we do that? So it wasn't that we got broken down or we through a lack of fatigue or a lack of effort that we conceded a try. It was just some really clunky, clumsy moments where we conceded tries. But that said, we was off on an energy level. So yeah, there will be a reaction from us for sure.
Do you put it down to anything other than maybe just a blip?
Do you know that's the first performance in such a long while where we just lacked that bit of bite about us, that we just lacked that bit of energy or that bit of, even in the Challenge Cup, which was a disappointing loss a few weeks ago. I thought we had a crack. We just had 1 or 2 things go against us and faced an extremely good Hull. But that was the first game against Wakefield last week for a long time where, it lacked something about it.
That second spot's so valuable, isn't it? Do you feel the other teams behind you breathing down your neck at the moment?
Yeah, for sure. And it's really important that we want to get second spot. There's no doubt. Top 4 is great, and we're not guaranteed a top 4 yet, and that is an objective. But we want a second spot as well.
How different could the team look this week?
Not too different. Mitch Garbutt doesn't declare himself fit. He just had a fitness test there this morning, and he's not available. So, but it won't be too different.
Ash Golding, is it anything of any concern?
Is what anything of any concern?
Injury, is he playing?
No, he's not injured. No.
Right. No. Is Garbutt's injury of any concern this week?
Only in as much as that it doesn't seem to have healed him, and it seems to be a small injury with his calf that won't go away, and his level of improvement has it's plateaued out over the last 10 days. So, it's anybody's guess then when his next spite of recovery is going to happen. I'm not sure he'll be available next week either. So, we'll check it over the weekend and see what he's like Monday.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Brian, you've responded really well to defeats this season. I guess you're expecting the same again on Friday?
Yes, more. I think nearly every time we've been beat this year, in fact every time we've been beat this year, we've won the week after. No, that's not true, is it?
I don't know.
Anyway, I'll just tell myself it's true. The majority of the time we've been beat this year, we've won the week after, and it's not so much that we've won, but we've had a real good performance the week after, and we'll get up for this game for sure.
Talking about the South Stand, obviously you've had some real ding-dong battles with St Helens over the last decade or so. I mean, it's almost a fitting game for it to end, isn't it? They're normally good games, tight games between the two.
Yeah, they are. We were doing a stat on play the balls involved in games a couple of years ago, and the more intense games where the ball's in play for a lot, obviously the ball gets played more, and sometimes our games sit around 260 and 270 play the balls in each game, and when you start getting to 280s and 290s, it's been a big game. There's a lot of effort being put in, and quite often they're enthralling games. And we've had some 300 plus games against Saints in the last couple of seasons, and the one recently at home was a high number of play the balls as well. So for some reason, the normally intense games where I don't think one team ever crushes the other team. Nobody comes out an absolute winner, but the game's in the balance for a long while. So with us saying to right at the South Stand, it's good that it's a team like Saints that we're doing that in front of.
We've all been talking all year about the number of teams involved in the race for the playoffs. It seems more intense now than it's ever been. There's something on every single game now, isn't there?
Yeah, and that's it's uncomfortable for us. Good for you fellas to write about, which is great. Had we beat Wakefield last week, would have been a far stronger position to secure top 4. And then certainly try and secure a second spot. But it's all on now.
Do you look at other results, or are you just not bothered? Concentrate on yourselves and let everyone else worry about
No,
you?
keep an eye on the results and we'll work out where we're going. I mean, you can debate it for ages and ages after watching the weekend results, but all conclusions are that you've got to win the next game. It's not really that we can ease off at any stage, but it's what the other teams do around us will have a bearing for sure, because we're so close to us now.
Obviously, great disappointment not winning the semi-final, but it does give you next week off. Does that come at a good time? Obviously, it's a huge 5-6 weeks to the end of the season.
I don't know. I'd rather be going down Wembley. I'm not bothered. Maybe my players wouldn't admit it, but I think they'll be saying, "No, we're due a day off." But I think they'd want to go down Wembley as well.
Brian, you've brought Jack Walker back into the squad. Does that mean that Ash will miss out, and what's the thinking behind bringing him back?
Jack's played a few games this year and been good. So it's not such a big move really.
And as regards to Ash as well, will he be missing out this week?
Probably.
What's the thinking behind him missing out?
You've got to reach a level of performance, and if you don't, you miss out. And it's tough at the time. It's tough, and it will be tough for Ash. But it's part of his progression. It's not nice at times, but those not nice moments are how you learn.
How did he take that news this week?
He's not happy. He's not happy, and he is disappointed. But he's a good bloke. He's a good egg, and he understands, and he gets it as well. He understands whether he disagrees or not. You'd have to ask him. I don't think he does disagree. But my decision is to make sure that when we say you've got to be here, there, and everywhere on the field, he's got to do that. And if people don't, they've got to be held accountable. And at times it means making them pay the ultimate price. Now Ash Golding's still very young in his career, still learning. Gets judged, as I've said on record a couple of times this year, he's been judged this year almost like a seasoned pro, which has been unfair. But at some stage, I can't keep Jack Walker alive as a player. I can't keep him with us unless he looks at a performance and thinks, right, well, I'm due to play. And if I was to turn around and say, no, you're not playing this week, Jack, because I'm going to trust the other fella.
Just back to the South Stand, I know I saw you in there with JJB the other day, sort of doing some rugby AM stuff, but in terms of the players that you've got, a few of them grew up watching games in the South Stand. Do you think that helps? It's quite a rare thing actually in sport, that for kids to watch a game from a certain stand and then eventually become players themselves on the pitch and be a one club person. It's quite a rare thing, but do you think that helps some of the players' perspectives, that they've been there, they've seen both sides of it?
Yeah, it can, for sure. And it certainly gives them that special feeling. You go talk to Jamie Jones and Ash Golding and Magsy and Rob and all those that have been fans of the club and go and then play for this club and play for nobody else. It makes it more special when they wear the shirt, when they wear the badge. It means a lot to them. But by the same token, somebody like a Brett Ferris, who's been around the traps and been around a lot of clubs, has also got a very good opinion on how to play the game and what it means to play for this club as well, because he's seen it done at every other club nearly. So not every other club, but most other clubs. So I think for somebody like a Jonesy, who often quotes how he was watching the team in the South Stand, he reckons he was watching me, Jonesy, play as a young fella. I'm not having that. He's not that much younger than me. But he was telling a story the other day how he saw me have a fight with Jimmy Lowes while playing for Bradford Northern. So I think I'll have to concede that happened, yeah.
With Jack Walker, is it a bit of an audition for him tomorrow as you look for the number 1 shirt for next year?
An audition, no, because he's already done I think he's already stepped in and done a good job. Is it a competition between them two? Yeah, it is. I think it's a competition between Ash Golding and Jack Walker, and that's not a secretive competition. It's often spoke about, and as you'd imagine, or maybe you don't imagine, I don't know, but they've both got a lot of respect for each other, and both get on with each other in training, and both understand that the best for that particular week gets a shirt. That's my task, is to ensure that level of selection maintains its integrity. That I can't just keep winking at Ash Golding and say, you'll be right, you'll be right. I've got to make sure that he pays the price every now and again. That's what I'm talking about, keeping Jack Walker alive and making Jack Walker believe he's got a chance as well. And who knows who will be the regular number one for next season. Who knows, but I do know whoever's going to beat the other bloke will be through form. So we're on a winner. Me as a coach and everybody watching the team are on a winner, because the best player will get the shirt.